8 Ways to Sell Your Home, Investor Essentials. Hi, my name is Angela Tolar, and I'm your Metro Denver Realtor. And today we're going to talk about Investor Essentials. But if you like the information in today's video, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel down below. Okay, so let's get started with investors. So investors are also known as-is buyers. And the reason they're known as-is buyers is because, well, they buy your house the way it is without any additional repairs usually. And there are some pros and cons to working with investors. And let's first talk about the pros. So there are four kind of primary pros to working with investors. And those pros are typically you have a quick sale without the need for any repairs or renovations. Secondly, there's a potential for a cash offer which reduces the risk that your deal's going to fall apart as you're going through the process. The third thing is that the conventional option for let's try that one more time. It's a convenient option for sellers who need to sell urgently. And lastly, it's a lot less hassle because you're not trying to get your house ready to put it on the market. You're not trying to make sure that you have time to allow for showings, and you're not keeping the house in a picked up, ready to go state anytime somebody wants to go see it. Now, with all of that being said, there are some cons to working with investors. And one of the first cons that you could run into is that the offers you may receive from investors may be below market price due to the condition of the property. The next thing that you could run into that would be a con is that there's limited opportunity to negotiate with investors on their offer. After that, we run into things like investors may come looking at your property who offer significant discounts, otherwise known as lowball offers. And lastly, some investors may request a contingency period for inspections. Now, you may be wondering, given these pros and cons, is your home ideal for selling it to an investor? Well, if you're in a situation where your home needs extensive repairs or renovations, you want to have a quick sale, or you don't want to deal with the hassle of actually putting your property on the open market, then yes, working with an investor may be the ideal solution for you. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the process of working with an investor. And typically, this process of working with an investor has four primary steps. Now, in the getting started phase, obviously, you need to decide if working with an investor is right for you. You need to understand what your property is worth. And typically, you're going to look at the houses that have sold in your neighborhood in the last 90 days. And after that, you're going to need to take some photos and videos of your property to send to an investor. Second step is you're going to go through the process of applying for these investor programs. And typically that means that you need to find an investor. You need to submit the data the investor is looking for. Again, typically that's your videos that you've taken and your photographs, as well as they may want to know the age of your roof, the age of your furnace and water heater, and those types of things. Then after that, you're going to have to wait for a response. And investors are usually pretty quick at turning responses around, usually within the 2 to 5 day time frame. Now, step number 3 is getting your property under contract with the investor. So typically what a lot of investors do here in the Metro Denver area is they send you a written offer, but it's not a traditional offer on the contract to buy and sell. What it is a written email that basically states, hey, we'll buy the house for this amount of money. Here are the closing dates or timelines that we need. Here's what we're flexible on. And if these things sound like they're going to work for you, then we go back to the investor and we go through the process of writing up a formal offer. Once you sign that formal offer, you're now under contract. And all parties have therefore agreed to the terms, and you need to adhere to the dates and deadlines. And like I said, when you're working with an investor, typically you're going to close fairly quickly. You're looking at that 14 days to 30 days time window, unless for some reason you're in a situation where you need more time. Now, what happens after you go under contract? Well, typically you're going to work your way through the dates and deadlines. There are going to be inspections and appraisals because the investor needs to know how much work and what kind of work needs to get done on the house once they close. They also need to make sure that the sale price of the house is going to be less than the appraised value, meaning that your house is worth at least as much as they have paid for it. And then after that, you just wait until closing day. Now, there are a few other things that you should probably know about working with investors. And one of them is that a lot of investors will let you leave behind household items that you no longer want. So I'm just going to pick on, let's pretend you've inherited a home and there's a lot of very dated furniture that you weren't able to sell in an estate sale. You would be able to leave that stuff behind. And the reason an investor is going to let you do that is because they're going to bring a dumpster in for stripping out old carpet and those types of things anyway. So for them to add a few items to a dumpster is really not that big a deal. The other thing is the type of offer that you get from an investor is going to vary greatly depending on their business model. Some investors buy properties for the purpose of fix and flipping. Some investors buy properties for the purpose of getting them fixed up and then renting them out and earning rental income. Some actually find properties, do some work, or no work at all, but they scope the work out and then they turn that property over to or sell it to another investor who's going to use it in a different way. So I hope you found this information helpful. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to ask. And I hope you have a fantastic day.